Refugee by Gratz is a book that tells the story of three children living in different horrible times in recorded history. The book starts off by introducing a young Jewish boy named Joseph. Joseph lives in Nazi-controlled Germany. Everyone knows the story of the Holocaust and what they did to the Jewish population of Europe. No surprise that that situation he is in is one of the worst in history. Then in the next chapter, we are greeted by a young Cuban girl named Isabel. Isabel lives in post-Cold War Cuba, where Cuba has no support from the USSR anymore and barely has basic human needs like food. Cuba is controlled by a communist dictatorship, which just makes it worse. It might be surprising to some people how much Cuba relied on the USSR, but most people know how awful it was to live there and how hard it was to escape. Then, finally, we are introduced to Mahmoud. Mahmoud lives in Syria in 2015, during the still ongoing civil war. He has to live in a war-torn city where people he knows die almost every single day. His house is destroyed by a plane dropping bombs on the city, so he and his family are forced to flee the city and seek a refuge. This story was surprising to me, as I live in comfort and no worry being bombed out of house and home. The author made many references to things we have in the West, like iPhones, Google Maps, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and many other things. Alan Gratz does a great job of showing how awful the situations that modern-day refugees live in are, by comparing it to moments in history that we already knew to be bad, and making allusions to things in the West that we have and enjoy. It hits home how horrible the circumstance that Syrian people are in. I personally believe that this book is a great read, and it opened my eyes to all the stuff that people in Nazi Germany had to go through, all the stuff that Cuban people had to go through, and all the stuff that Syrian people are still going through. If you ever get the chance, read it. It may change many of your perspective on things.